This is one point that I wanted to make sure that you didn't miss. Kate and I were on talking about freelancing and talking about all the options within freelancing and yada, 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 of course. But one of the things that we got into was the importance of knowing how to freelance, not just the importance of freelancing, because who doesn't like more flexibility, more money, all that kind of stuff, whether you want to do it full-time, or, of course, right? Like, we get the benefits of freelancing. But one of the things that you have to think about is it's important that you know how to freelance. Because here's the thing, is that if you are in, God forbid, but also very likely at some point in your career, that you're in a position where you either need or really, really want to leave your job, freelancing, knowing how to freelance, knowing how to dial up that income really fast if you need to, gives you flexibility and freedom. I mean, yes, God forbid, again, if you lose your job all of a sudden, it sucks, but it does happen all the time, no matter how loyal you are to a company. There's no, I mean, you worked, they gave you a paycheck. That's a symbiotic relationship. But God forbid that you lose your job, then you want to have the skills to be able to dial up that income, turn on your freelance business and dial up that income quickly. But also the same thing we've all been in jobs where, likely, where we've enjoyed it, right? Where we're like, you know what, I like this job. I think I'll stay here for a while. I certainly have been one to say, you know what, I freelance in the evenings and weekends. I'll stay in this full-time job. I'm just going to coast for a little while. Or maybe it's even like, you know what, I really like my full-time job. Great. Awesome. How lucky are you? But that can change on a dime. You get a new manager. They change up the projects that you're working on, or they change up the focus of the company. They get, and maybe not just a new manager for you, maybe it's a new CEO or new president or new whatever. And all of a sudden, this job that you enjoyed changes drastically and you can't stand it. And because you don't have the skills to freelance, you either have to be miserable there for a while, or you have to start looking for another full-time job. And as everybody knows, finding a full-time job is often a week's, if not more likely, months-long process. The thing about knowing how to freelance is that it gives you the ability to go, you know what? I don't like this anymore. I'm out. And you can do that and you can be okay. You don't have to worry about not being able to make the mortgage payments or not being able to put food on the table or any of that kind of stuff. It gives you the freedom to be able to walk away without being stuck there. Maybe it's the golden handcuffs, not even just golden handcuffs, regular old handcuffs of, my salary, I have to stay for my salary, and I have to stay for my health insurance, and I have to stay for all this, and I have to, I have 401k, and I have vacation time. Yeah, you can give yourself all of that stuff as a freelancer. But if you don't know how to freelance, because it's not just a matter, you guys are smart, it's not just a matter of walking out the door and going, okay, now I'm freelance, let the clients just come to me. They're all gonna fall in my lap, because that's not how it works. Clients don't come to you. This isn't Field of Dreams. If you build it or if you just say I'm freelance now, they're not gonna come to you. You have to have a system for finding and landing clients. And then all the other stuff, the client management, how to price your services, how to do all that kind of stuff. You have to know how to do that. You can't just, nobody's born learning how to freelance. But if you don't know that, then yeah, you are stuck at your job or stuck waiting for another full-time job, no matter how miserable you are. Or same thing, if you lose your job, then you may have to go on unemployment, or you may have to take or you may have to take that financial hit. But the thing is the ability to know how to freelance gives you the ability to walk away when you want or need to. But it's not an innate skill. This is not things that it's not something that you're born with. You can't just wake up and know how to freelance. The more that you can wake up and know how to make baked Alaska, or the way you can't wake up and know how to fix a carburetor. These are all skills that you have to learn, but that's why they're so important to learn them, so that when the situation arises, because it's not an if, it's a when. At some point in your career, you're going to want to walk away from a job. You will have the ability to do it. But yeah, the figuring out taxes, insurance, track expenses, yeah, you need to learn all of that. Exactly. It's part of the system. And that's what we were talking about on yesterday's Freelance Success Framework info call. Because yeah, it's all part of being freelance. Being freelance is not just delivering stuff to your clients and getting the income. I think that's what a lot of people think that it is. It's all of it. It's figuring out what services you're going to offer. It's figuring out how to price those services. It's figuring out how to market yourself, figuring out how to find clients, figuring out how to do outreach with clients, figuring out how to do client call. And I shouldn't say figuring out, it's knowing, because I can teach you all of that. Figuring out or setting aside money for taxes, how to do all that, how to manage client relationships, how to have difficult calls with clients, because there will be when clients, you price out something like, yeah, can I also get something without paying you more? Then you need to know how to have those client conversations. It's all that. Freelancing is not just providing a service and then getting cash back. Freelancing is all of this, because when you have all of this, then you have a stable freelancing business. The other one, like just waiting for clients to drop into your lap, that is why, or not only knowing how to do this and bill for it and then not knowing any of the other stuff, that is why people struggle with freelancing. That is why people believe erroneously that dry spells are part of the process, or you always have feast or famine. No, you have a feast or famine income, or you have dry spells because you don't have a consistent system for finding and landing clients, and then for managing those clients and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, I get very worked up about this because there's so many misconceptions about freelancing out there, when it's really fundamentally a matter of following the steps, of learning how to do it. And it's not even all that complicated, but learning how to do it and then following the steps. So freelancing is a skill, and I firmly believe this. Freelancing, and not just because of course you believe because you have a freelance. Look, I've been a freelancer for 20 years. I have full-time a lot of it, and then part-time a lot of it too. And I have been working for more than 20 years. I have a lot of friends who have been let go of jobs, or a lot of friends who, when you talk to them, they go, oh, I'm miserable, but I can't leave because I don't want to find another job. Or like, we spend too much time of our lives working to be miserable for that time. I firmly believe that everyone needs to know how to freelance, because no one should have to spend their time in a job being miserable. And same thing, no one should have to face that moment where they get let go and then they have no way to bring in income. No one should have to do that. The idea that, well, you just get a job and then they take care of you. No one takes care of you. And the fact that we so happily, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a full-time job. Like I said, I've done it. I've always had my freelance jobs on the side. But sometimes there's been a company where I go, yeah, you know what, I'd like to be full-time here. But what you're doing is you're giving up complete control of your schedule. You're giving up complete control of your income. You're giving up complete control of your livelihood. They decide whether you get to keep that job or not you. They decide how much you make, not you. They decide if and when you can take a vacation, not you. It's you are not in control. But when you have you work more at a company, they don't pay you more. They just say, thank you so much, good job. Yes. When you work more at your own freelance business, you make more money. And again, I have nothing against a full-time job, but everyone should know the skills to freelance so that they have that option to take control when and if they want to or need to. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. I hope that was helpful, and if this is the first time you've ever kind of thought about it, I would encourage you to do a little bit more thinking, because life is too short to be miserable, and quite frankly, there are too many financial ramifications of giving up complete control of your livelihood to another company. Livelihood and happiness in a lot of ways, because it's a lot of hours that we work